Wyatt Divis. Batting cleanup for the Larks from Fort Hays State University, the right fielder, number 21, Matt Schmidt. Batting fifth, the shortstop from the University of Tennessee, number 22, Cortland Lawson. Batting sixth, the first baseman from the University of Sioux Falls, number 2, Grant Long. Batting seventh, the center fielder from East Tennessee State, number 8, Leo Jimian. Batting eighth, tonight's 8th Street Liquor Beverage batter, the third baseman from Kansas City, Kansas, Community College, number 4, Palmer Hutchison. And batting ninth for the Larks, the catcher from Murray State Community College, number 7, Brady Evans. Making the pitching start for the Larks, 2-0 on the season from Arizona Western, number 27, Luke Turpie. Mr. Frank Leo. Larks pitching coaches, Keith Harper. Assistant coach is Max McGuire. Please welcome our umpires for tonight's first game. On the bases is Matthew Weaver, and behind the plate is Doug Clark.
Where I'll be rooting for the Hays Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hays Larks. Hays Larks! Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hays Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks. Join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 28 of the 2021 Hayes Larks season, their 75th anniversary season. This is game one of a doubleheader between your Larks and the Colorado RoughRiders. Larks won last night, run ruling the RoughRiders 12-2 here at Larks Park. It's Luke Terbeek on the mound. Larks coming to this game 23-4 in the season. They are 2 wins away from winning the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. There was a graphic that popped up that said they were the champions earlier, but that was a glitch. 2 wins away. If they sweep the doubleheader today, they will be the champions. They're looking for it. We'll start off the game with a ground ball to Matt Kavanaugh from Hauser. 1 pitch and 1 out as Kavanaugh gets it too long in time. 1 away. Takes us to Trenton Harris, the shortstop. This is Luke Terbeek's 5th start of the season. He's 2-0 through 8 appearances. Has thrown 29 and a third for the Larks. He'll go from the windup. The Netherlands knuckleballer gets a pop fly to the right field side. Schmidt chases it. It drops a foot in foul territory, and it's a beautifully placed single for Harris. And there, Terbeek, a single and a ground out on 3 pitches. Runner at first with 1 away here in the top of the first.
The pitcher, number 52, Grayson Carter.
Takes us to Grayson Carter, who's actually going to be starting on the mound for the RoughRiders in this game.
15.
And so, RoughRiders have a limited roster in this game. Just barely double digits players, so they're going to use their pitcher and try to take him 7 innings. He sends his first pitch into left center. Jeminian gives chase, and it's going to drop off the warning track. It's a double. Jeminian trips and falls on the warning track. Throw was cut off by Lawson, and the relay home is not going to be in time. It's a double and an RBI for Grayson Carter, the Vanderbilt commit. Harris scores from first, and the RoughRiders have the lead today. They scored 2 runs in yesterday's ball game, both of them in the first inning against Cade Brown. And then after that, the Larks scored 12 unanswered runs, 10 of them in the 3rd inning. And then it was silence over the next few innings from both squads. Runner at second with 1 away here in the top of the first. So we go to the cleanup hitter, Hayden Luff. Luff batting cleanup and playing the hot corner. His first pitch from Terbeek, 0-1. That was just Terbeek's 10th earned run this season. Luke has an ERA of 2.15. Has struck out 27 guys and has only walked 2. Has a whip of 1.19. The Netherlands pitcher goes home. Off-speed, beautiful pitch. Gets in the zone. Called strike 2 here to the the cleanup hitter. Terbeek out in New Vennep, Netherlands. He's a 6'1 freshman at Arizona Western. And will be transferring. Tweeted out that he was looking for a new home and went viral, showing off that knuckleball, his fastball, and his other pitches, and got looks from a lot of coaches. This year at Arizona Western, Luke made 5 appearances in the games that he got wins. Total of 9 appearances, 5-0 without losing a game. Had 5 starts and 4 appearances in relief. Only walked 6 guys through 32 1/3, striking out 27. The 0-2 delivery after a ground ball foul off the turf will go 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes with Carter standing at second. Luff batted cleanup yesterday. He went 1 for 3 and drove in both of the RoughRiders runs. It was a home run that he pulled and brought in the only 2 runs of the game on that swing. It was really the only ball that the Larks threw that was made with good contact. It was the only one that really found the barrel in yesterday's ball game. Larks just dominated, and so far in this game, the RoughRiders are looking good. They have a 1-0 lead in a 2-2 count here against Terbeek. Terbeek has played for the Dutch national U18 team, so he's no stranger to big situations, and the Larks are going to need that at the NBC. Also played in the Dutch major leagues, playing for 2 teams over 4 years, so going to be vital experience for the Larks as they look to win an NBC title. Small crowd here at the park. It's the earliest first pitch we've had this season at Larks Park. Still over 100 people, but not the 1,000+ crowds we're used to seeing here in Hayes. And I assume by game 2, crowd will get back. 2-2 delivery, line past Terabika. It goes into center field, and Jeminian has some struggle with this one again. It's an RBI single, and that's 3 straight hits for Colorado. Carter scores from second, and Luff picks up an RBI. It's a 2-0 lead here. Terabika was a little shaky in his last start getting things going against Fort Collins. Allowed a couple of runs in the inning, but after that first inning against Fort Collins, he was lights out on the mound through 5 innings after that, and allowed his second walk of the season. To start his season, he threw 18 1/3 without allowing a single walk. He's 2-0, and is getting start number 5 here. He's been just so dominant on the mound for Hayes this season. This is a very uncharacteristic start for him. Evans wants to chat with him, and he'll go back behind the plate. We'll get an 0-1 off speed to catch against Goldfarb. Goldfarb batting 5th today after going 0 for 3 in yesterday, striking out 3 times. Him and Carter both got hat-tricked by the Larks pitching staff. A pitching staff that struck out 15 over the course of 7 innings yesterday. And we'll have an 0-2 count as Goldfarb can't bring this one into play. Left at first, top of the first, 1 away here in Hayes. Terabik will miss inside on the fastball, 1-2. Larks no strangers to the RoughRiders. Played them yesterday and played them 4 times last season, going 3-1 against Colorado, and they won the last 3 games by a combined score of 9-1. Larks threw 26 of the last 27 innings against the RoughRiders, allowing just 1 run. And 26 of those 27, as I was saying, were scoreless. And 22 consecutive scoreless innings on the mound. So the Larks were dominant pitching, but the RoughRiders a little bit better today in this game. And we'll get a check over at first. One of those games, Munch, Riggs, Rose, and Divis threw a combined 2-hitter on the 21st. Both hits came off of 1 pitcher, but it was a great game for the Larks pitching staff. So Larks are 4-1 in their RMBL history against the RoughRiders. Larks are looking for their second RMBL title in 2 years in the league here in this doubleheader today. If they win both games, they'll do it. Or if they win one and the Sox lose their game against Fort Collins, the Larks will clinch the title. So the magic number has been, you heard Gerard Wellbrock saying, is 2. Larks will have some more games of league play against the Cougars coming up, but they want to get it done and win that title as soon as possible. Terabik on this one walks just his 3rd batter of the season, and he's allowed 4 straight base runners. Left goes to second, Goldfarb to first, and with the 2-0 lead, the RoughRiders have 2 on. Takes us to Trevor Moore, the right fielder, batting 6th in the order. Had yesterday off, but is back in the order in tonight's game. 6-1 righty goes home. Nice pitch, catches the outside part of the plate. Terabik starts off a lot of guys with a first pitch strike. And that was one of the big things that college coaches liked out of him. He's a strike thrower and is throwing strikes today. Off speed will miss just inside. We'll go 1-1 here to Moore, the right fielder. Terabik throws first pitch strikes to 68% of his batters and throws strikes on around 71% of his pitches. Pop fly over the right side will be out of play. We'll go 1-2 now to Moore. Antonelli on deck with Sunling in the hole. Terabik undefeated in 2021. He was given a loss on the Larks game changer, but it was a loss that was not his. It was given to the wrong guy, so we're comfortable saying he's 2-0 for the Larks this season, a combined 7-0. He'll get a ground ball, throw it to Hutchison in the hot corner. It's going to be a 1-5-3 double play, as that is a good reaction, a good quick thinking from Terabik. And he goes to a guy who has a great arm in the hot corner to throw across the diamond. Larks get another double play. They had quite a few yesterday, and they will be down 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the first here at Larks Park in Hayes, Kansas. Bottom of the first, top of the order for the Larks to lead it off. It's Zach Henry. And yet another game leading it off for the Hayes Larks. He is riding an 8-game hitting streak, and after having kind of a slow start to the season, has been on fire lately, and that's going to be a huge thing as the Larks look to bring home an NBC title here in about 2 weeks. Since his first pitch from Grayson Carter over to the Larks dugout, 0-1, Grayson Carter just graduated high school but is a Vanderbilt commit and is the highest rated perfect game prospect on the diamond today between the two teams. And it's going to be an important big start for the Larks here, as Zach Henry will have an infield single as Miller's diving effort won't be able to bring it in. We'll go to Kavanaugh getting the start at second base today. So Carter on the mound, being a young guy, it's going to be huge for the Larks to get ahead early and set the tone. So big first inning for the Larks. Can't get this guy confidence on the mound. He's the 79th overall player in the nation and the number 1 player in Colorado and the 23rd right-handed pitcher in the nation according to Perfect Game. He's given a perfect game grade of 10, which is perfect according to their standards, and by their definition, it's a potential very high draft pick and or elite college prospect. He will hit Matt Kavanaugh on this pitch, and Kavanaugh will take first base. Top 3 in the order again for the Larks. All UTA Mavericks will go to the DH Wyatt Divis. 1 through 5 in the order today for the Larks, the same as last night's game. Larks running 11-game win streak, picked up their 11th straight victory yesterday in 7 innings. They're 11-2 in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League, sitting comfortably in first place, 3.5 games up from the Sox. RoughRiders 4-10 in the league. They're in last place, 7.5 games back. 5-12 overall. They've lost 3 of their last 5. 2-0 here to Divis. So Carter, very talented high school prospect and is going to a great school, but is that age gap going to be too big in this game? We'll see how he responds here. Dylan Dreiling, who just finished up his junior year of high school and is playing for the Larks, has shown that the age gap between him and the collegiate players hasn't really mattered. We'll see what Carter responds to the mound. He's thrown 3 straight balls to Divis, this one inside, and the Louisville, Colorado native will throw pitch number 4 to the DH from Lincoln. It's a fastball in the zone, 3-1. Carter stands at 6'4", and switch hits. So, very talented player. He's a multi-sport athlete at Fairview and is headed to the SEC. 4 SEC players in the game today. Pitcher from Vanderbilt and the Larks have 3 guys from Tennessee. Divis will pick up another walk, and now he's been on base in 21 of his 21 games this season. That loads the bases, and the Larks looking to put some damage on the scoreboard and still have nobody out. They batted around yesterday in an inning. See if they can do it today. Takes us to a very dangerous Grant Schmidt, tied for the team lead in home runs with 6. Larks had a grand slam yesterday. It was off the bat of Leo Jiminian, a total of 40 home runs this season. Schmidt in yesterday's ball game batted 5th, went 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored before he was pinch hit for, and has an 0-2 count swinging here against Carter. Carter from a very athletic family, had 2 older sisters who both played collegiate basketball. 1-2 slider outside. Carter had a max fastball by Prep Baseball Report, clocked at 96 miles an hour. Expected between 92 to 95 today, according to Prep Baseball Reports. I think they had him at 93 to 95. Has a 80 to 82 mile an hour slider and a curveball in the mid-60s. And he will strike out Schmidt on 5 pitches. Schmidt ahead of the off-speed. That is out number 1 of this game, or this inning.
From the University of Tennessee, the shortstop, number 22, Cortland Lawson.
So we'll have SEC versus SEC as Cortland Lawson comes to the plate. Vanderbilt versus the University of Tennessee. A little rivalry between those two teams. These guys will face off for the coming years in the Southeastern Conference. Fastball low and outside here to Lawson, 1-0. Lawson, just like Divis, has been aboard in every single game for the Larks this season. Lawson was actually the guy who batted 5th yesterday. Schmidt batted cleanup. Lawson went 1 for 2 with an RBI, a walk, and a run scored. Goldfarb goes back to his dugouts, gets some adjustments, and will head back behind the dish. Henry at third, Kavanaugh at second, Divis at first. Larks sporting their camo uniforms for the first time since Military Appreciation Night, just the second time this season. Camo tops, white pants, blue hat, blue helmets with the white numbers on the jerseys. RoughRiders again sporting their green hats, black jerseys with the horse on the front and a white number on the back. White pants on the road. This one will catch the outside corner against Lawson, 2-1. Lawson had some family in attendance in the past few games. Got a hit last night, is looking for his second one of the series. The 2-1 delivery high on him, 3-1 counts. And the last 3-1 counts that Carter had on the mound, he walked a guy. He's allowed a single, a hit by pitch, and the walk today. Pitch number 5 to Lawson. It's above the letters on a fastball, and that'll walk in a run, the second walk of the inning. And the Larks cut the deficit in half, and we'll have a mound visit between Adam Miller and Grayson Carter. So we'll take a quick break while we get things reset after the mound visit here in Larks Park. Grant Long will come to the dish after Zach Henry scores the Larks' first run of the game off the Cortland Lawson walk. That was Henry's 25th run scored this season. He is sitting at 5th on the team behind Schmidt, Jackson, Pearson, and Divis. Has an 0-1 count, swings, or Lung has an 0-1 count, swings at this one, 0-2. Lawson just picked up RBI number 16 on his 19th walk this season through 15 games. Lung swings above a fastball and will be down on strikes. Carter's second strikeout victim today. 2 away, bases loaded for a guy who had a grand slam yesterday. Jiminian will come to the plate. He's the 7th hitter of the inning. And let's see what he can do here today. Kavanaugh at third, Divis at second, Lawson at first, with the center fielder coming to the dish. Slight breeze coming in from left center, but shouldn't have too much of effect of balls hit off the barrel. 1-0 here to Jiminian. Lawson gets his lead at first, Divis at second, Kavanaugh at third as Jiminian sends this one to the backstop. 1-1. Jiminian riding a 6-game hitting streak coming into this one. Larks fans, be sure to subscribe while you're watching the stream. It's free of charge and helps us out. Jiminian will ground this one off himself, and we will go 1-2. Hutchison on deck with Evans in the hole. Zach Henry started this inning out with a single. Larks have had 3 base runners since then, but none of them on hits. We had a hit by pitch and a pair of walks. We've also seen a pair of strikeouts since that hit. 1-2, Carter from the windup will miss above the letters. Thought he had strike 3, but home plate umpire says differently. 2-2, 2 outs, bases jacked in a 2-1 ball game here in the bottom of the first. Count is even. This delivery home, Leo Jiminian will swing and miss, and Carter does get strike 3 here. He struck out 2 back-to-back and struck out all 3 outs in this inning. Leaves the bases loaded. Larks pick up a run after allowing 2 in the top half. We'll go to the second, 2-1 here in Larks Network. Top of the second will go. Leading it off is Braxton Antonelli, the first baseman. Got some action in last night's ball game and has this one missed below his knees. 1-0. So Larks worked the pitch count of Carter in the first inning, but didn't score any runs. But that pitch count's going to be huge, as with a young arm, you don't want to throw him a ton of pitches. Throw a ton of pitches if you're the RoughRiders, but they really have nobody else that they want to throw in this game, since they got another game tonight and a game tomorrow on a very shortened team. Ground ball over the head of Tara Beek, and Cortland Lawson, who is at Matt Kavanaugh's normal spot, will scoop it off the turf and makes a nice play to first. And that will be out number 1 of the second inning. Kavanaugh at second today for the Larks after normally starting at shortstop. And speaking of that, let's check out how the Larks line up defensively in this one. Zach Henry out in left field, Jeminian in center with Grant Schmidt, the Fort Hays State Tiger, in right. Grant Long getting yet another start at first base from second base. Kavanaugh, the guy at second. Lawson at shorts. And Hutch again in the hot corner. Evans is tonight's starting catcher, replacing Sam Crowell. And obviously Luke Terbeek on the mound. 0-1 count on the first pitch strike to Sunling here in the top of the second. Larks defense, the exact same from yesterday with the exception of Evans catching for Carter, and Lawson and Kavanaugh have switched in the middle infield. But outfield, third base, first base, still the same. 2 balls and a strike here to Alex Sunling. Sunling didn't hit in yesterday's game, but he was the courtesy runner for the RoughRiders a few times. 2-1 under the sun here. Around 6 p.m. in Hays on an early start for the doubleheader. Terbeek misses inside, 3-1. Miller on deck with Hauser in the hole. RoughRiders got a trio of hits, a rare Luke Terbeek walk, and 2 runs. In the first inning, they left 1 guy on base. Hitter's count delivery will miss inside, and this is going to be the most walks Terbeek has ever allowed in a game. He's walked 2 through 1 1/3. So crazy that 2 walks is the most he's allowed in a Larks career, but it's 2 through 1 1/3. Had that inning-ending double play that he started in the first. It was a 1-5-3 double play. He went to Beek, Hutchison, and then across the diamond to Lung. We're at the bottom of the order in the top of the second. Weston Miller to the box. He is one of the 25 guys on the RoughRiders roster who only have about 11, 12 that we counted at the ballpark. So they have 25 guys on the roster. The Larks have just 23. 24th edition of Dylan Dreiling for this series. But the big difference is Larks have everybody at the park. RoughRiders have like half their roster. So we'll see if that has any effect. It will certainly have an effect on their pitching. Check over at first. Terbeek loves the pickoff move. This one will not be in time. 0-1. One home outside, 1-1. Terbeek spent a couple of years for the Arizona Western Matadors and the Arizona Community College JUCO League. And his first year there, he only made 1 appearance in the shortened season through 1 2/3 and struck out 2 guys and gave up a couple of hits. 2-1, 2-1 counts in a 2-1 ball game here. In Ter Beek's Dutch Major League career made 37 appearances. Played 3 years for Hoofddorp and 1 year for HCAW. That was in 2020, and is getting some Summer League action this year. 3-1, and he's in danger of walking back-to-back batters. Ter Beek, 2019 Roald de Man Award winner, Best Young Pitcher from the Netherlands Award. Larks will try to throw only 2 pitchers today. We'll see how long Ter Beek stays on the mound, and then we'll expect Jose Velasquez in relief. Ter Beek's longest outing this year was his last one against Fort Collins when he threw 6 innings and got his second win of the season. He's won both of his last appearances. 3-2 payoff pitch sent out to play over the right field side. Ter Beek struck out 2 over those 6 innings, and his career high in strikeouts per game is 5. That was against the Sox on June 12th in a game that the Larks should have won. He put them in the position to win. We were in the 8th inning, up 8-3, and then the Larks collapsed, allowed 6 runs, and got walked off in Colorado. Line drive to the right field side will drop 8 feet into foul territory, and we'll get yet another payoff pitch here to Miller, working a good at-bat. Beek has now thrown 37 pitches, 22 strikes, giving up 3 hits and 2 walks, has 2 earned runs. Payoff pitch lined again. So we'll set and go again. Good at bat here from Miller. We're pushing double digits on the pitch counts for this AB. Hauser on deck with Harris in the hole. Miller batted 9th yesterday, and he was one of 3 guys to get hat-tricked, but he will get walked here. Ter Beek has allowed 3 walks and has over doubled his season total just in the first 1 1/3 inning, and Keith Harper doesn't like what he's seen, is going to have a chat with his pitcher, and we'll take a quick break for the mound visit. So quick mound visit between Harper and Ter Beek, and the first pitch he throws gets popped into foul territory. Lung will record out number 2 behind first base and to the left of it, his left. And Hauser now 0 for 2 with a ground out to Kavanaugh and a pump up to Lung. Takes us to Trenton Harris, who got the first hit and the first run for the RoughRiders in this game. Game 1 of 2 against the RoughRiders today, game 2 of 4 this series, and we'll have 2 7-inning ball games today with about a 30-minute break between the last pitch of game 1 and the first pitch of game 2. Beek misses the zone here to Harris, 1-0 to the shortstop, who singled and scored in the last inning. Swings above this one, will go 1-1. Larks pitching staff yesterday allowed just 4 hits, only had 1 walk, and it was late in the game. And got a dub in 7 innings, run rolling the RoughRiders 12-2. Larks have run rolled quite a few opponents, and the RoughRiders have been on the other side of some run rules for the past few years. And we'll have a 1-2 count here to Harris. Ground ball into right field. Don't know why I said fly. It'll roll to Schmidt, and the throw will not be in time. And Harris has his second single of the day and picks up his first RBI and brings home Sunling from second. And Miller goes to third on the effort. Terry was one strike away from ending the second. Instead, we'll have runners on the corners with 2 outs in a 3-1 ball game. Takes us to Grayson Carter, the pitcher, out of Vanderbilt. He doubled in the first inning, picked up an RBI, and he later scored on the left single. Terry takes a deep breath on the mound. Evans sets up down the middle, and this pitch cranked to right field on a line drive, but Carter, a little eager on the swing, takes it to foul territory. Staying at 0-1. Carter gets some time. At first base is Harris. Miller's at third. Pop fly over to the left field side. Leaping effort from Lawson won't bring it in. And that is the second straight single. And Carter picks up his second RBI of the day. Miller scores his first run. And the RoughRiders have already doubled their run total from yesterday's game in just the first 2 innings. So Larks not looking as good as they did yesterday coming out of the gates, but still very early in the game. Brought Harris to second in the meantime. Carter now 1 for 2 with a single, a double, 2 RBIs and a run scored. And he allowed a run on the mound in the first inning. 2 outs, first delivery here to Luff. Below the knee is 1-0. The Larks can sweep the doubleheader today. They will win the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. Fastball home in the zone. Good pitch. 1-1. Terbeek's fastball hangs in around 87 to 91 miles an hour. Has that knuckle curve. That's nice. That's around 72 to 75 on the radar gun, and a changeup of 81 to 83. Also has a knuckleball that really clocks in at any velocity he wants to. We've seen it at 60. We've seen it at 80. And he likes to use it, but doesn't throw it as much as some of the Larks knuckleballers from the past. Rustin Hayes, last year for the Larks, threw knuckleballs on like 40% of his pitches on the rubber. 3-1 here to Hayden Luff, third baseman, 1 for 1 with a single and an RBI. Tariq has walked 2 in this inning, gets this one just outside and has walked 3 in this inning alone after only walking 2 on the season through 29 and a third. And Jose Velasquez just left the Larks dugouts. We'll see if they're going to start warming him up. He's scheduled to pitch after Terbeek. The bases are loaded with 2 away in a 4-1 game with Goldfarb coming to the plate. Terbeek just really hasn't looked like himself in this outing. Really has been dominant on the mound this season and only walked 2 guys prior to this game. So far through 1 2/3, he has walked 4 guys and given up 5 hits. It's Harris at third, Carter at second with Luft at first. This pitch inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Few RoughRiders fans made the trip sitting on the first base side. Out a dozen of them. Larks fans continuing to file in. for this game. A couple hundred people at the park today. 2-1, and this one dropped off the turf. It's weird playing a game here at Larks Park at 5:30, but the Larks looking to win the league today. And so we'll look to see that time change not phase. And first pitch is always at 7 o'clock. And Hayes. And Velasquez heads to the bullpen with Brock Loomis. 2-1. This one off the end of the bat of Goldfarb. Goldfarb walked in the first inning. Got to second, was left there. Down to Adam States. And has a 2-2 count with 2 away. Runner on every base. Count is even. We'll see what Terbeek does with the 5th pitch of the at-bat. It's a fastball grounded over the right side. Slowly, Beek has time to get to it and throws softly to Lung. And Lung records out number 3 in his glove. Luke walks 3, allows 2 hits, and allows a couple of runs in both the first and second innings. And the Larks are down 4-1, looking to rally in the bottom of the second here on Larks Network. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. Hutchison will lead off the bottom of the second for the Larks. Larks and the RoughRiders have both left the bases loaded through the first 2 innings. And we've seen a total of 7 guys left on base through 1.5 innings of play in this game. First delivery here to Hutch. Right inside, the 1-0 fastball down the middle. He takes it to the hot corner, but to the left of third base. 1-1 count here to Hutch. Hutchison in yesterday's ball game didn't get a hit, but he did get a board a few times. Had a walk and drove in 2 and scored 1 run. Had a sacrifice fly to get momentum going for the Larks earlier in the game yesterday. Ground ball hard to left in the hot corner, and 1 third baseman will ground out to the other one, and we'll go 1-1. Count will go from 1-1 to 0-0 as we move to another batter, Brady Evans. Hutchison is out number 1, and Carter has retired 3 straight. 1 away, base is empty as we go to B. Evans. Brady getting the start after having yesterday off. Brady is batting 347 this season with an OPS of 1.104. Sends a ground ball over to the left field side. Luft takes it off his glove, and it bounces into left. It's a one-out single for Evans, and it takes us to the top of the order. Larks started the first inning with 3 straight base runners off of a single, a hit by pitch, and a walk, and then left the bases loaded after 2 strikeouts. They did pick up a run when Lawson walked with the bases loaded. That's their only run of the day. We'll get a courtesy runner in Cam Pearson running for Evans at first base. See what Henry does. He's 1 for 1 of the day and has one of the Larks 2 hits. The other one just came from Evans. He head back to dugout and gets suited up for the 3rd inning catching. 1-0 as Henry takes this one outside. RoughRiders wanted to take Carter long in this game. Larks had the responsibility of working that pitch count early. Fastball way inside, and Cam Pearson slides into second without a throw. And the Larks have a runner in scoring position with a 2-0 count. Larks have stolen quite a few bases this season. That one was stolen base number 78 for the team, and it was Cam Pearson's 10th stolen base. 2-0 home. Henry swings at one over it, and now is a 2-1 count against Carter. Carter, a top 100 prospect in the nation, stands at 6'4", and we'll use that frame coming home on this delivery to Henry, the UTA Maverick. Pearson tests the old arm of Goldfarb and steals third base. Aggressive move for Pearson. He's looking to send a message here in the second. The Larks have a runner at third and a 2-1 count. It's Pearson's 11th stolen base this season in as many attempts. Henry takes this one oppo. Alzer and Sunley move towards it. They're by the 349 sign. Pearson tags up and will jog home. It's an easy sacrifice fly for Zach Henry, and Larks have scored in each of the first 2 innings, scoring 14 runs in the past 2 games. And Henry sits with a now 9-game hitting streak after singling, and now is a sacrifice fly. Picks up an RBI and brings home Cam. For Cam Pearson, that is run scored 27. That is second on the team behind Divis. And Zach Henry just picked up RBI number 15. Base is empty, 2 away, 1-0 count here to Kavanaugh in a 4-2 ball game. One count here to Kavanaugh. 2 away, base is empty. Carter goes from the windup, off speed, hangs above the letters. 2-1. Larks have 1 hit this inning, a ground out and a sacrifice fly. The 2-1 delivery from Carter. Fastball inside. Goldfarb tries to frame it, doesn't get the call from home plate umpire Doug Clark. Larks got 1 hit in the first inning. 2 walks, 1 run. They left the bases loaded. 3-1 delivery from Carter. Off speed outside, and Kavanaugh's aboard for the second time in 2 innings. He's been hit by a pitch and walk. For Kavanaugh, that is walk number 5 this season through 39 plate appearances, and he's been hit by a pitch 2 times this year. So he's still 0 for 0 with that hit by pitch and walk as we go to Divis, who walked in the first inning to load the bases with nobody out. He got to second and then was left there. First pitch fastball outside, 1-0. Divis has his longest hitting streak of his Larks career, standing at 18, and has a 21 game on base streak for the Larks this season, has been aboard in every game. Ground ball to the shortstop Harris. He waits on it and throws to Miller at second to get Kavanaugh out. Larks get a run back in the second, but they're still down by 2 as we move to the third here in Hays, Kansas. Tariq back to the mound for inning number 3. There's a first pitch fastball that gets fouled off by Trevor Moore. He was the lone Rough Rider not hit in the second inning. An inning where they scored 2 runs, walked 3 times, got 2 hits, and brought 8 hitters to the plate. Sends a line drive right to Lawson. He drops to a knee and catches it for out number 1. 2 pitches in and out here for Cortland. For Beek on the mound after the line out to Lawson. Takes us to the 7-hole. Braxton Antonelli, the first baseman. He's 0 for 1 with the ground out to Lawson to end the top of the first. Beek from the windup misses the zone on his delivery here to Antonelli. Antonelli pitched in yesterday's game. He threw 2 2/3 on 53 pitches, allowed a trio of hits and a couple of runs, walking 4 batters in the process with no strikeouts. Larks picked up 2 home runs in yesterday's game, both against Zach Link, who started the game. And in a 4-game series, over the course of 3 days, the Rough Riders threw 3 pitchers in game 1. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them, as they'll need depth. Ground ball to the left side. Terbeek comes off the mound and throws to first in time. That's the second G1 of the game. And it's the third ground ball outs that Terbeek will have a part of after he helped turn the double play in the first inning. 2 1-3 ground outs and 1 1-5-3 double plays on the day. 2 away here in the top of the third. We go to the 8-hole. Alex Sunling, he walked into the second to lead off the inning and scored. Swings and misses at his own delivery. Beek in the groove here. He's good at bouncing back, and we've seen it already this season, especially in his last outing. He's looking good here in the third. He's not wasting time. Sunling wants time to try and throw Beek off his rhythm. Luke doesn't even move on the mound while he gets time and sends an 0-2. That misses just outside. Appeal to the base coach. The base pass umpire, Matthew Weaver, won't be successful for the Larks, as he says Sunling did not swing. Beat goes from the windup, the 1-2, grounded over the right side. Kavanaugh comes in, makes a late adjustment, scoops it, tosses it from his glove to Lung for a few feet, and Terbeek throws a 1-2-3 third, sends us to the bottom half. Hayes down 4-2 on the Larks Network. Bottom of the third here in Hayes, Kansas. Brent Schmidt, the FHSU Tiger, lead it off for the Larks. He's 0 for 1 of the day with a strikeout and is getting his second look at Carter. Carter throws 2 straight balls. This one outside to Schmidt. That's how things get going. Larks riding an 11-game winning streak, looking for their 12th straight. They're undefeated in the month of July in 2021. RoughRiders have lost 3 of their last 5, not nearly as bad as the Larks, and haven't had nearly the success that the hometown team has had. 3-0 here to Schmitz. Carter's walked 3 through his first 2 innings, allowed a pair of hits, 2 runs, and he's left 3 guys on base. 3-0, it's a fastball, mid-90s right down the middle, but Schmidt is taking all the way. He'll have a hitter's count. Schmidt batting .385 this season, on base percentage of .443, and takes his 5th pitch out to play over the right side. Schmidt has 25 RBIs this season. He scored 26 times, and 6 of those runs have been scored on home runs from himself, and he will walk here. He's aboard for the first time today. So we'll go to Cortland Lawson, who walked in the first inning and brought home a run in the process. Cortland been to base in every single game this season for the Larks that he's played in, all 15 games. He's riding an on-base percentage of .569. Divis has the highest on the team at .583. Divis looking for the record book. He has been part of quite a few Larks record over the course of 4 years for Hayes, and this one might be his best year yet. Slider outside, 1-0 here to the Tennessee Volunteer. Olsen's made 67 plate appearances now. He has 18 hits, and the same amount of walks coming into the game, but he bumped his walk total to 19 in the first. He struck out just 10 times, has 10 singles, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 4 home runs. 1-0 off speed, catches the top of the zone, 1 ball and a strike. Carter go from the stretch and misses low here. 2-1 to number 22. Get a pitch home and then a check over at Schmidt. This one misses the zone and the throw to first not in time. Larks down by 2 looking around. They've scored in each of the first 2 innings, 1 run in each inning. They only scored in 2 different innings yesterday, but picked up 10 in one of those innings. Ended up run rolling the RoughRiders, and Lawson walks for the second time today. His 20th walk this season, and that's back-to-back walks for the Larks. They've walked 5 times through 2 innings on the mound against Carter. Reset the pitch count as we go to Grant Lung. Lung 0 for 1 on the day, striking out in the first. Infield straight up here. Exception of Harris right now is trying to hold Schmidt at second. Oh, speed catches the high outside corner. And 0-1. This one 1-1 counts. Lawson gets his lead at first. It's a big one with Antonelli behind the bag, not keeping him there, to be honest. Defense for the RoughRiders. Sunling in left, Hauser in center, Moore in right. Antonelli at first, Miller at second, Harris at short, and Luff in the hot corner with Goldfarb behind the dish. Lung pops this one off the plate. And not sure Lung made contact with that one. And both runners were taken off, so not a foul ball. It's a 2-2 count, and the Larks have 2 in scoring position. So Larks have stolen 4 bases today, 2 of them from Pearson, 1 from Lawson, and 1 from Schmidt. And after being down 1-2, Lung will walk on 6 pitches. 3 straight walks for Grayson Carter. And before we can go to Leo Jiminian with the bases loaded again, we'll have a mound visit between Adam Miller and Grayson Carter. We'll be back on Larks Network for the continuation of the 3rd bases loaded with nobody out. Second mound visit of the day, and Carter's throwing strikes right after it. It's an 0-1 count against Leo Jiminian. He struck out Jiminian in the first inning to leave the bases loaded. 0-1 counts. Bases loaded again for Jiminian. Jiminian has had 3 at-bats against the RoughRiders this season with the bases loaded. Now, in his first 2, he went 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a grand slam. Larks have had a few grand slams this season, and the 0-2 delivery to Jiminian. Fastball just inside 1-2. Carter thought he struck out Jiminian for the second time today. Beek threw a 1-2-3 top of the 3rd to give the Larks a 2-run deficit, and keep that deficit at 2 runs, I should say, going into the bottom half. And Jiminian will be 0 for 2, striking out for the second time today. And Carter now has struck out 4.
The third baseman, number 4, Palmer Hutchison.
Base is loaded, 1 away for Hutchison. Hutchison 0-4 on the day with a ground out to Luff. 1 away, big RBI opportunity for Hutchison, who had a pair of them yesterday. Off speed above his helmet, 1-0. Larks have walked 3 times this inning, 6 times in the game. They have 2 hits. And they put 9 guys aboard. Ground ball over the left field side. It's slow enough that it's going to roll into left field after diving effort from Luff and a big effort from Harris. Hutchison couldn't have placed that one more perfectly. And as the beverage batter, he gives the Larks fans half-price beverages for the remainder of the inning and picks up his 3rd RBI of the season, bringing home Grant Schmitz and moving Lawson to 3rd and Lung to 2nd. Larks down 4-3. Grant Schmidt scored yet again this season. That is his 27th run scored. He's just 1 behind Divis for the team lead. 1-0 count here to Evans with the bases still loaded. Carter throws a fastball and Evans grounds it to Harris, and what could have been an inning double play will allow 2 runs to score as it goes between the legs of Harris. It's an E6 and the Larks take the lead off of it. Won't count as an RBIs for Evans, but it brings Hutchison to 2nd, and the Larks up 5-3, and that error proves costly. And there's still only 1 out.
Top of the batting order for the Larks, the left fielder, Zach Henry.
Lawson scores and Lung scores. Lung scores his 21st run this season. Lawson also scores his 21st run this season. Lawson as on the RBI on the day as well. We go to the top of the order. Zach Henry. Pearson comes in to run for Evans again, and another ball behind. Goldfarb runs to the backstop, and the runners move up into scoring position. Hutchison to 3rd, Pearson to 2nd. Pearson scored a run in the 2nd inning off of the sacrifice fly from Zach Henry, who's at the plate. We'll see if Henry can bring him home again. And Carter tosses the ball to the umpire, gets it expected by Doug Clark, and we'll go again. 1-0 count here to Henry. Henry 1 for 1 on the day with a sacrifice fly, a single, a run scored, and a run driven in. Henry takes some time to dig back into the left-hander's batter's box. One of a few guys on the roster that throws right-handed but bats left-handed. Takes his 1-0 delivery over the outside corner on a fastball. 1 ball and a strike. 5 runs have scored for the Larks. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 3 in this inning. But 4 of those are earned for Carter. That's what the Larks stats shows. He's now thrown 69 pitches. 30 of those strikes, and his pitch count's starting to creep up there, but no sign of movement from the bullpen, and they wanted to take this guy all 7 innings of this game, and the Larks want to get his pitch count as high as possible and limit the amount of arms that the RoughRiders will have available for Game 2 and Game 4, or Game 2 today, and then Game 4 of the series tomorrow. If the Larks sweep the doubleheader, they will win the league tonight. 2 in scoring position and a 2-2 count in the 3rd inning in a 5-4 ball game, 1 away. Carter from the windup since he has that runner at 3rd, and his off speed will miss outside. Henry looked like he was almost expecting to be called out on strikes there. And Carter thought he had the call. Carter struck out 4 so far today. He's walked 3 in this inning and allowed 5 base runners, one of those off an error, and another one off the single. Misses above the letters here, and his pitch count creeps above 70, and he walks his 4th batter of the inning. Hitter number 8 of the inning coming to the plate now with the bases loaded and 1 away. Larks have loaded the bases a lot this series through just the first 2 games. Kavanaugh to the blade. He's 0 for 0 with a hit by pitch and a walk. Larks, all but one guy in the starting nine has been on the base paths today. One away, bottom of the third. Carter from the windup. Base is jacked. Kavanaugh sends it to opposite field. More to the warning track, then comes in right field. Runners tag at second and third. The throw home's a good one, but it's going to be cut off by Antonelli, and it's a sacrifice fly for Matt Kavanaugh. And the Larks score another run, their fourth of the inning, and take a 6-4 lead. And that error proved it even more costly. Runners on the corners now as Pearson moved to third and Hutchison scored his first run of the day. Kavanaugh picks up an RBI. And the process. Hutchison scores his second run of the season, and stealing second base here is Zach Henry. Larks have now stolen 5 bases today through the first 2 2/3. And Kavanaugh on the RBI picked up his 5th run driven in 2021 for the Hayes Larks. 1-0 delivery here to Divis. Misses low, 2-0. Divis 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out and a walk. Put his on-base streak at 21 games. 2-0 home fastball in the zone. Around the waist of Divis, 2-1. Divis, the 9th hitter of the inning. Larks have walked 4 times and gotten 1 hit. They've scored 4 in this inning after scoring 1 in the first and the second. 3-1 hitters counts for a dangerous DH. Wind has really died down here at the ballpark. Pitch number 5 to Divis, above the letters, and he picks up his second walk of the day, and the Larks have batted around. Base is loaded again. Schmitz coming up to the plate. He walked to lead off this inning and scored. Divis at first, Henry at second, Pearson at third. And we do have movement in the pen. It's a righty. Carter has walked 7 in the game now through 76 pitches. Pitch number 77 is popped over to the first base side. Antonelli gets under it, and the Larks leave the bases loaded for the second time today, but they do pick up 4 runs in the process and take a 6-4 lead to the 4th inning here in Hays, Kansas. 3 innings to go here for the Larks as we go into the top of the 4th in a 7-inning ball game. Game 1 of a doubleheader on Pack the Pantry week. So if you're coming to the game 2 after this one and watching at home right now, bring a canned good or a non-perishable item to the ballpark and help us pack the pantry for the Community Assistance Center in Hayes. 2 pitches in the line drive to center field, and that'll get the 4th inning going for the Larks here. Dominion records down number 1 in his glove. Miller now 0 for 1 with a walk and a flyout after scoring in the 2nd inning. Got some new work on the mound between the 3rd and 4th inning, and it's Terbeek back to the mound with who I believe to be Vasquez warming up for the Larks and the bullpen. Went out to the bullpen in the 2nd inning, had some warm-up pitches, and then sat down, and the Larks are moving him again. Great pitch from Terbeek. Catches the outside corner. Beautiful movement on the off-speed. He shakes his head at it, but it still worked for him. He has an 0-1 count here against Cole Hauser at the top of the order in the top of the 4th. Hauser 0 for 2, might be 0 for 3 as this one rolls to Lawson. Takes it off his wrist on his glove hand and then picks it up in midair with his right hand and throws to Grant Lung for out number 2. Beek has now retired 6 straight. Trent Harris coming to the plate now. He's 2 for 2 with a pair of singles, a run scored, and a run driven in. Luke is just so good at recovering on the mound. Doesn't let things phase him after an inning, giving up a couple of runs. Did against Fort Collins, gave up some runs, and then bounced back for the next 5 innings and dominated. And after allowing 2 runs in the 1st and 2nd, has retired 6 straight. 2 away bases empty in the top of the 4th. Ground ball up the middle. Cavanaugh moves to his right. Throws sidearm too long. And Terbeek has back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. This one in the 4th on a couple of ground outs and a flyout. We go to the bottom half. Hayes up 6-4 on Larks Network.
You're tuned in to the Larks Network.
Lawson will lead off the 4th inning for Hayes. He's 0 for 0 with a pair of walks, a run scored and a run driven in. His first pitch from Carter outside, and the RoughRiders bring back Carter to the mound for his 4th inning. He's walked 8 guys and allowed 3 hits, and 6 runs have scored on him. 4 of those earned in the contest. That was pitch number 82 right there. It misses the zone. 2-0 here to Cortland Lawson. Larks brought 10 hitters to the plate in the last inning, batted around, and scored 4 runs. 3-0. Lawson has a very patient eye, has walked a lot of times this season. Could he walk for the third time today? And yes, he does on pitch number 4. And he is 0 for 0 with 3 walks. Walk number 9 allowed for Carter. Takes us to Grant Lung. Lung struck out in the first and then walked in the third and scored. Righty up in the pen for the RoughRiders. Jose Velasquez sitting down in the Larks pen. His fastball high corner, 0-1 over the outside part of the plate here to Lung. Lung in his third season with the Larks. He's looking for his first hit of the day. He's batting .324 this season with an OPS of .959. He scored 21 times and driven in 19 runs himself. Jiminian on deck with Hutchison in the hole for Hayes. Carter slips on this delivery and misses outside, and Goldfarb wants a jow with him. It's 2-0. Carter has thrown 84 pitches, allowed 3 hits, has struck out 4 and walked 9 guys. And he's also hit 1. So he slips on the rubber. Doug Clark and Matthew Weaver talk to him and figure out what's going on. There's a runner at first. Lawson hasn't attempted a ton of stolen bases this year, but does have some movement in those legs. He's stolen 3 bases on 3 attempts. That walk from Lawson was his 21st this season in his 15th game. He has the most walks on the Larks roster and has played in 10 less games than the guy in second place. So crazy. He's just so patient at the plate and doesn't swing at anything he doesn't want to or need to. And has also cranked out quite a few home runs, 4 home runs. And is in the top 9 for the team lead in hits. Check over at first, and Lawson will move to second in the play. Larks have to get another runner in scoring position. It's still a 2-1 count here to Lung. Lawson's season high in walks was 4 against the Cannons. He should have another opportunity to get a walk. He has had 5 multi-walk games, 3 2-game walks, 2 3-game walks now for his 6th multi-walk game, and had that 4-game walk on the 6th 14 days ago, 2 weeks ago today. 2-2 count is even here against Lung. Fouls this one off the bottom of his bat and will stay even. Lung yesterday, 1 for 1 with a run scored, and he also walked 2 times. Second 2-2 delivery, grounded over the first base side, but foul. This will be pitch number 7 coming its way, and the third one with the 2-2 counts. Lawson gets his lead at second. Harris behind him. Carter gives him a look and will go home, but not before stepping off the rubber and getting time. I said it was important early for the Larks to jump ahead. They didn't jump ahead until the 3rd inning, but with the young guy on the mound, can't let him get in a groove. They want to get in his head, and I think they did in the 3rd inning. He's a Vanderbilt commit, the highest rated recruit on the diamond today for either team, and is headed to Vanderbilt. Like I said, it's the #1 player in Colorado by perfect game, but the Larks have gotten on base quite a few times against them today. In high school, his last year, according to Max Preps, went 6-2, made 10 appearances at Fairview, striking out 122 guys over 2 years. and walked 28 guys this year with 55 strikeouts. Long after fouling quite a few off and working great at bat, gives not his best effort on this swing and heads back to the dugout with his head down, striking out for the second time today.
The center fielder, Leo Jimia.
Takes this to Leo Jiminian. Leo over to the day with a pair of strikeouts. Struck out both times with the bases loaded. Had a home run yesterday with the bases loaded for a grand slam. Carter's pitch count at 91. Pitch number 92 is off the glove of Goldfarb. And Lawson goes to third, rounds it hard, but holds up. 1-0 count here with one away and that runner at third base for the Larks. In the bottom of the fourth, they're up by 2 runs, 6-4. This one misses, 2-0. Pitch number 3 to Leo will be in the zone on an off-speed, drops in. We'll go 2-1. Leo had that grand slam yesterday. It was a big one for the Larks. He had 2 home runs in that inning, one a 3-run home run from Divis, and that grand slam for Jiminian. It was his 3rd home run of the season and his 3rd home run in 2 years as a Lark, after having quite a few home runs at Clarendon this spring. To be exact, he had 7 long balls for the Bulldogs, and he will get aboard today on this one, and every single Lark has been aboard, and he picks up an RBI on the single. Lawson scores his 2nd run of the day, and Jiminian gets his 1st RBI of the day. For Leo, that is his 5th RBI in the past 2 days, and that's going to be a day for Carter. So we'll see who they bring in. In the meantime, Jiminian picks up RBI number 26 this season. That is the most on the team now. After only having 6 last season, he's had a great year for the Larks. In the process, Lawson scored his 22nd run scored this season, and his 2nd of the day. Larks up 7-4, runner at first, and Jiminian will get a new pitcher here in the bottom of the 4th. One away, Geminian's taking off on the first pitch. It's a strike to Hutchison, and the Larks steal another base. Taking over on the mound is Noah Gaselli. He's a freshman. He's from Boulder in Colorado and plays for the Willamette Bearcats. Hutchison takes this one over the right side and out of play. Larks have stolen 6 bases today, and Geminian just stole his 14th this season on his 16th attempt. Ground ball back to the mound. Gaselli scoops it over his head and loses it, spinning around, but does recover it over on the first base side and tosses underhead to Antonelli, but Geminian advances to third.
The Larks catcher, Brady Evans.
Hutchison now 1 for 3 with a couple groundouts, and Geminian's in scoring position at third. 2 away now in the bottom of the 4th. Larks scored a run in this inning. They've scored in each inning today. Brady Evans at the plate. He's 1 for 2, reaching on an error and singling. He scored 1 run and has a 1-0 count. Gaselli didn't make an appearance on the mound in his year at Willamette this year, and no stats recorded on the website for them. Two-0 delivery, bloop single into right field, and Brady Evans will drive in his 3rd run of the game, but it'll be just his first RBI after the other ones were reached on an air, and the Larks score another run, their 2nd of the inning, their 8th of the game. They have double the amount of runs of the RoughRiders, and Brady Evans has been aboard 3 times today, and Pearson will run for him for the 3rd time. Gaselli, 5'11" righty, listed on perfect game. He's given a perfect game grade of 7.5. Graduated in 2020 out of high school before heading to Willamette for a year. 1-0 Pearson at first with Henry at the dish. Henry 1 for 1 with a single, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. Has scored a run and driven in a run. The utility guy can play pretty much every spot in the infield and is also being used on the mound. 2-0 here to Henry. So Larks, their start of their 4th time through the order. Batted around 3 times today. 2-0 outside. Pearson's taking off for a second. The throw is going to be in time, but wide of the bag. And Harris has some trouble with it. It rolls into center field. Pearson scores his 3rd run of the, steals his 3rd base of the day. And has stolen 2nd twice and 3rd once. And he goes to 3rd base on the play, on the overthrow. And it's a 3-0 count for Evans Henry in the meantime. Gaselli had a max fastball by Prep Baseball reported at 81 miles an hour. Changeup in the mid-70s and a curveball in the low 60s. Catches his zone here. Evans taking all the way. (3-1) pitch number 5 of the AB inside, and Henry will walk in back-to-back innings. He has now sitting at 1 for 1 with 2 walks, a sacrifice fly, and a single. And we go to the 8th hitter of the inning. It's Kavanaugh.
The second baseman, Matt Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh 0 for on the day, 0 for 0 with a sacrifice fly, a walk, and a hit by pitch. Drove in a run. 8 Larks have either scored or driven in a run. And every Lark has been aboard at least once. Most of the guys have been aboard multiple times. 0-1 count here with 2 away. Kavanaugh was at shortstop yesterday and went 1 for 4. Also picked up a walk and scored both times he got aboard. Henry's taking off for 2nd, and Pearson's going to get himself caught in a pickle at 3rd base. And is running it back and forth. and has got it going for a while. He's reading it well. Henry's at second, and he is going to be tagged out after a long pickle for out number 3. Trying to come home a little too early, and Goldfarb caught him in no man's land, and that'll end the 4th inning. Larks get 2 runs. They scored 1 in the 1st, 2nd, and then 4 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. They're up 8-4 as we go to the 5th. Tara Beek back to the mound. Top of the 5th. We're at the 3 hole in the order. It's Noah Gaselli, the pitcher, replacing Grayson Carter. Carter will finish his day 2 for 2 with a single and a double. 2 runs driven in and 1 run scored. This one is lined over the head of Kavanaugh. It's a leadoff single for the pitcher. Terbeek back to the mound for the 5th Larks. In inning number 5 of a 7-inning game. Takes us to Hayden Luff. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Terbeek has thrown 4 innings, allowed 5 hits, 6 hits. He had none in the 3rd and the 4th. Had back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. And that was the first hit he allowed since 2 outs in the 2nd. Above the letters on this delivery, 1-0. Runner at first base with nobody else. 1-0 from Beek home. Off speed, flown out of play. Goldfarb on deck with more in the hole for the RoughRiders. One-two pickoff move, close play at first. The tag applied a split second too late. 1-2 count. Here to Luff, the third baseman. He's driven in a run on the day as a runner at first, and now a 2-2 count as this one will miss off the turf. Due for the Larks in the bottom of the 5th will be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Kavanaugh, Divis, and Schmitz. Count is even. Beek will come home, not before checking over on first. Ground ball between Lung and Kavanaugh. It's a no-out single, and the throw should have gone to second from Schmidt, but he thought that's where Carter was going, or excuse me, Gaselli was going to at third. He rounded it hard, was held up by his base coach, and Schmidt took the throw to third. If he took it to second, we'd probably get a ground or an out right there. And after allowing back-to-back base runners on the walk into single, Keith Harper's going to pull Terbeek out of the game, and Jose Velasquez will come in for the fifth.
Meet me down at the ballpark, where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Jose Velasquez will take over for Luke Terbeek here with 2 on in the fifth. And at the plate is Colton Goldfarb. He's 0 for 1. Velasquez's first pitch will be a wild one, and both runners move up 90 feet. Carter to third, Luff to second. One here, as this one will be called a strike. Terbeek's day will be finished after 5 innings, and this will be Jose Velasquez's 10th outing of the season and his 11th straight in relief. He's 4-0 this year, has 2 saves and just as many opportunities, an ERA of .58 and a whip of .67. Elite numbers for the Larks reliever. Larks bullpen has been hit or miss a lot this season, but Velasquez has always been hitting. And so he's going to be a big guy for the Larks as they head into the NBC tournament. The Phoenix native takes this one to the backstop, and a run will score. That is Henninger's. That is Gaselli scoring from third. Second run scored from the 3 spots. Love goes to third. On the play, it's a full count and an 8-5 ball game. That run won't count against Velasquez's ERA. Swing and a miss on the payoff pitch, and that's out number 1. Velasquez picks up strikeout number 24 this season. He's walked just 11 guys and puts one away. One away with that runner at third. Velasquez gets set against Trevor Moore, who's 0 for 2 with a line out and a double play. And this delivery will miss slow, 1-0. Velasquez throws strikes on 71% of his pitches and starts out 68% of his batters with a first pitch strike. Ground ball to the first base side. Grant Lung fields it, and retreating back to third is Love. And Velasquez is retired 2 straight. So runner at third now with 2 outs as we go to Antonelli, who's 0 for 2 with a ground out to Beek and a ground out to Kavanaugh. Excuse me, the first ground out he had was to Lawson, not Kavanaugh. That 5-inning effort was Terry Beek's second 5-inning exact effort of the season and his 4th longest. Ground ball over to first base. Lung gets the ball and tags first base himself. And Velasquez comes in and does exactly what the Larks want him to do. He gets 3 outs, a strikeout, and 2 ground outs will end the top of the 5th. Colorado gets a run back, their first run since the 2nd, and they will be down by 3 as we go to the bottom half of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th, and already one away as Kavanaugh grounds out on 1 pitch. So we'll go to Divis here. Divis 0 for 1 today with 2 walks and a ground out. Base is empty for the DH from UTA. It's his 4th year with the Larks. Had an interview on social media on the Larks Facebook yesterday. If you want to check it out, check out the Hayes Larks on Facebook. And while you're at it, follow the Larks on Twitter at Hayes Larks BB. And subscribe on YouTube to stay up to date with all things Larks baseball. 1-0 count here to the DH. Divis led the team with walks last year and has a pair today. On the season, Wyatt is sitting 17 walks. 2-0 inside corner. Late call for a strike from Doug Clark. We'll have a 2-1 count here to Divis. Schmidt on deck with Lawson in the hole for Hayes. Divis takes this one hard to Miller. It bounces, and he will be grounded out here in the 5th. Back-to-back ground outs to get things started against Noah Gaselli. Two away. This one off the plate. 1-0 here to Schmidt. Live from Larks Park for game 1 of 2 today against the RoughRiders. 2 7-inning games due up as Schmidt chases this one and will miss it. 1-1. Schmidt walked in the 3rd inning and scored. Other than that, he's 0 for 2 with a pop-up and a strikeout. Was the first and last batter of that 3rd inning. Grounds this one to the left side and gets his 2nd on-base appearance today and his first hits. And the Larks pick up their 6th of the day. And there's a runner at first with 2 away. So we go to Cortland Lawson. Lawson has walked 3 times today. For Schmitty, that is his 36th hit this season, his 21st single. He has the 2nd most hit on the Larks roster behind only Divis. Lawson, late appearance number 4, takes this one in the zone, 0-1. Lawson been aboard 3 times today. That's the 2nd time Schmidt's been aboard. And this one will almost catch Lawson's shoulder. He'll have a 1-1 count against Gaselli, and the throw back to Gaselli over his head. One and 1, 2 away. This one gets the low outside corner on an off speed. Go 1-2. Larks will likely have only one more inning of batting in this game unless they give up 3 runs. Likely we'll see the Velasquez throw the next 2 innings and try to get the Larks their 12th straight win. Schmidt takes off on the 1-2, and this one's flown to right field. It drops in foul territory, and Moore busts through the bullpen door while chasing it. It's like just 2 guys setting in the dugouts for the RoughRiders and 3 guys up. So short staff today. They only have 5 guys on the bench. Larks have 24 guys at the ballpark. 1-2 home to Lawson. Swung on and grounded to Miller at second. Scoops it and throws to his left. In time at first base. Larks get a hit in the 5th but leave a runner on. And ground out 3 times. 2 to Miller, 1 to Harris. As that will end the 5th inning. Larks scoreless for the first time today. They're up 8-5 as we move to the 6th. Top of the 6th, leading off. Yes, Sunling shows ball on his first pitch. Pulls back, but it gets called a strike. Velasquez in his second inning of work. Got the last 3 outs of the 5th, and all 3 outs after Beek allowed 2 straight base runners. 0-2 here to the 8-hole left fielder. He's 0 for 1 with a ground down, a run scored, and a walk. 0-2 inside. Velasquez almost hits him. 1-2. Velasquez has walked 11 guys this season. Only has 2 earned runs through 25 innings. His first and only start was against the Roughnecks on June 5th. Has a 1-2 count, and Sunling wants time trying to throw Velasquez out of his rhythm. Jose has an opponent batting average. No, this is not a made-up number. An opponent batting average of 0.07. Oh, crazy right there. He does not like putting guys on base, and the Larks love him for it. 2-2 as this one will be taken off the chest protector of Evans. We'll have about a 30-minute gap between games 1 and 2 today, and we will end this stream after the 7th inning and then go into game 2 on a different stream. So you'll need to leave this stream at the end of it and then wait a little bit and refresh your YouTube page or your YouTube app on your TV or phone, and then we'll have a new one going shortly after this game. If you want to watch game number 2, pop up after it hit off the turf. It's a Baltimore chop back to the mound. Velasquez moves to the back of the mound and throws to the line in time for outs number 1 of the 6th. He's retired 4 straight off of 3 ground outs and a strikeout. One away here as we go to Weston Miller. Swings and misses at this delivery and has an 0-1 count. Scoreboard frozen on the stream now. We got it back now. 1 away. 0-1 count here to Miller. He is 0 for 1 with a fly out and a walk. Off speed in the zone. Velasquez hitting the zone against the bottom of the order. It's the 5th batter Velasquez's face. We'll see what he does. Velasquez hasn't allowed a home run this season. And even when balls are put in play, his opponents only have a batting average of .102. The 0-2 off speed misses the inside corner. 1-2. 1 away, base is empty here at the bottom of the order. Do it for the Larks in the bottom of the 6th will be Long, Jeminian, and Hutchison. 1-2 fouled off. Larks will need to bring 7 hitters to the plate in the bottom half of this inning if they want to give Davis a shot at putting his hitting streak at 19 games. Otherwise, it's in danger of being ended. Had it been a 9-inning game, that would be completely different, and he'd have another guaranteed opportunity to hit. So if his hitting streak does end, that's an unfortunate situation for it to go down. But he has been on base in all 21 games he's played this season. 2-2 misses inside and low. 3-2 full count here to Miller. Defense straight up for the Larks, both outfield and infield. Payoff pitch on its way, grounded slowly to Lawson, scoops it and throws to Long. A nice throw in time, and that is 4 straight ground outs for Velasquez. 2 away, base is empty in the top of the 6th as we go to the top of the order. Cole Hauser, he's 0 for 3 with a ground out to Kavanaugh, a ground out to Lawson, and a pop up to Long. Hauser in yesterday's game, he went 3 for 3 with a run scored. All 3 hits singled. The only extra base hit in yesterday's ball game was a home run from Luff, and 3 of the 4 hits for the RoughRiders came off the bat of Hauser. Hauser has an 0-1 count here. Swings late on this one, and Velasquez in command in the 6th. Had a wild pitch, but other than that, it has been lights out for Velasquez here on the 20th. 0-2 inside part of the bat and to the dugouts of Colorado. Larks will start off with Lung, Jiminian, and Hutchison for the bottom of the 6th batting. The 0-2, Velasquez gets a swing and a miss and strikes out his second batter of the day, and he strikes out on the season his 25th batter. So that'll end the top of the 6th. Larks still have a 3-run lead as we go to the bottom half in a 7-inning ball game. Grant Lung leading things off at the bottom of the 6th for the Larks. New pitcher into the game is Churchich, and the first pitch he throws, Lung lines it over the head of Harris for leadoff single. The second time Lung's been aboard today, and has 2 strikeouts and is 1 for 3. So Lung's hitting streak now at 3 games here in 2021. Leo Jiminian to the box. He had a grand slam in yesterday's game and is 1 for 3 today with a single and a run driven in. Lung scored a run earlier in the game. That was into the 3rd inning. He's at first with nobody out. It's 1-0 counts. Nathan Churchich on the mound. He pitched yesterday's game. He pitched the 6th inning and threw 12 pitches, allowed a hit, and struck out 1 in that 12-2 loss. He's the 3rd pitcher in today's game and was the 3rd pitcher of yesterday's game. Almost catches the thigh of Jiminian on this delivery and has a 2-1 count. For Grant Lung, that was his 25th hit this season, his 17th single, and he is aboard at first. Pitch number 4 to Jiminian, a fastball off the turf. Lung will advance 90 feet to second on the wild pitch, and Jiminian will have a hitter's count. And if the Larks get 3 outs without allowing 3 runs in the top of the 7th inning, game will be over. As we're doing 2 7 games for the doubleheader, 7 inning games. 3-1, Dominion sends over the backstop and over the grandstand and out of the park. We'll go 3-2. He shook his head after that swing, didn't like the way it hit off his bat. He's driven in 26 runs this season and scored 24 himself. Payoff pitch outside and low, and he is aboard for the 2nd straight time. And the Larks pick up another walk. Walk number 6 this season for Dominion. And for the Larks bats, that is the 11th walk they picked up today. They have 7 hits, 11 walks, 1 hit by pitch, and 1 reaching on an error. They've been aboard 20 times today. 2 on, nobody out as we go to Palmer Hutchison. Hutch 1 for 3 on the day with 2 ground outs and a single. He, just like Dominion, has a run scored and a run driven in. Each of the bottom 3 in the order have a run scored and a run driven in. Ground ball to the third base side. Luff picks it up, throws to Miller for 1, over to Antonelli for 2. It's a 5-4-3 ground out, and Long advances to third in the process. So that's outs number 1 and 2. And Hutch is 1 for 3. Go to the bottom of the order. Brady Evans, he's been aboard 3 times today. Harrison has courtesy run for him 3 times and scored 1 time. Evans also picked up an RBI back in the 4th inning. A wild pitch will score long, and the Larks take a 9-5 lead. So even though it's a 7-inning ball game, Velasquez, throwing the last 3 innings, will pick up a save, I do believe. If he goes back out there and closes and finishes the 7th. So even if you throw the last 3 innings, no matter what the score, it's a save. He's had 3 save opportunities, if this one counts as a save opportunity, and he has gone 2 for 2 in previous save attempts. It looked like Cade Brown was going to be the closer at the start of the season, and he was a 9th inning guy, but since then they've moved Cade Brown into the starting rotation, and he has started his last 2 appearances. Velasquez started game number 2 this season for the Larks. Went 3 innings. Games 1 and 2 were scheduled out for a 3-3-3. And Evans cranks this one to left field. Sunling's at the warning track, and he looks at it as it goes over the wall. It's a solo home run for Brady Evans. His 3rd this season. Picks up his 2nd RBI of the day, number 10, and scores his 13th run this season. Long ball for the Larks. It's their 41st home run this season. Their 3rd in the past 2 days. And Evans will touch them all and put the Larks up 10-5. He gets to celebrate with his teammates and brings the Larks faithful to their feet here in the 6th. Base is empty, 2 away. To go to the top of the order, Zach Henry. Evans now 3 for 4 on the day with 2 singles, a home run, 1 run scored. The other one was Cam Harrison, who ran for him and scored. The 2 runs have scored because of him running, and he also has 2 runs driven in. 0-2 count here to Zach Henry. If Henry gets aboard and Cavanaugh gets aboard, the Larks will give Divis an opportunity to extend his hitting streak to 19 games. At 0-2, outside 1-2. Divis, although his hitting streak is in jeopardy of being ended, has been aboard 2 times today and has been aboard in 21 straight games this season. But I don't think Divis is really the type of guy that cares too much about his hitting streak, and Henry will go down on strikes. Henry now 1 for 2 with 2 walks, a single and a sacrifice fly. He's the last out of the 6th inning, and will take us to the 7th inning. Hayes up 10-5 after getting 2 runs in the 6th. They've scored in every inning but the 5th. Velasquez back to the mound for his third inning of work. It's the top of the seventh. Leading it off is Trenton Harris, the two-hole shortstop, since his first pitch to the Larks dugout, 0-1 count. Harris 2 for 3 on the day in game one of the two-game doubleheader. 0-1 delivery off speed inside, 1 ball and a strike. The Larks hold on and don't give up 5 runs in the seventh. They will be 1 game away from winning their Rocky Mountain Baseball League title. Fastball from Velasquez outside, 2-1. Terry started the game. He went 4 innings, striking out no guys, walking 4, and allowed 7 hits, 5 earned runs. Line drive to left field, but this one's going to be into the Larks bullpen. We'll go 2-2. And then Velasquez coming through the last 2 innings. Has struck out 2, no hits, no walks, 1 wild pitch. We expect to see Jake Fitzgibbons get the start for Hayes in game number 2 today. So that one will be around 30 minutes after the end of this game. This one almost catches Harris, but it doesn't. Payoff pitch from Jose. Gets a swing and a miss and gets his 3rd strikeout of the day. Get some cheers from the Larks fans. And has struck out 2 in a row.
The pitcher, number 22, Nathan Churchill.
Churchill to the box. He will be making his first at bat today. The 3-hole has had 3 different batters and 3 hits, a double and a single from Carter, a single from Gaselli. And now we'll see what Churchill does. Base is empty, 1-0 counts with 1 away in the top of the 7th, the last inning of this ball game. Ground ball off himself, and we will go 1-1. Velasquez has thrown 26 and a third now in the season, has 26 strikeouts, and is looking for save number 3. One ball and 1 strike. Velasquez goes home. Fastball will miss low. 2 balls and a strike now. Swing and a miss on the 2-1 delivery, and Jose 1 strike away from strikeout number 4. This year at Cochise, Jose made 26 appearances, striking out 57 guys, and had 3 saves. Gets a pop over the right side of the infield. Kavanaugh, a long move towards it. Lung's the one who calls him off and gets out number 2. The second pop-up we've seen too long today.
The third baseman, Hayden Larks.
We go to Hayden Luff, the third baseman. He's walked in his last 2 plate appearances and singled in the first. Been aboard 3 times today. He's also driven in a run. That was back in the first inning. 2 away now, and 0-1 counts. Just 6 hits so far for the RoughRiders. They've walked 5 times and scored 5 runs. They left 5 guys on base. As for the Larks, scored 10 runs, left 8 guys on base, 11 walks, and 8 hits. 0-2 counts. Won't have a post-game show after this one, since we got a doubleheader coming up. Or game 2 of the doubleheader come up. Slow clap starts. The 0-2 delivery from Velasquez in the zone and line to right field. Schmidt moves back. It's going to drop off the warning traffic and off the RD graphics sign and right. And a 2-out single for Luff. He's been aboard 4 times today and is 2 for 2. So 2-away runner at first as we go to the 5-hole. Colton Goldfarb 0 for 2 with a walk. Larks fans into it here. Turnout keeps rising throughout the evening as with the 5:30 first pitch, not a lot of people are at the ballpark. Still over 100 to start, but we're pushing up the numbers here towards the end of game 1. 0-1 delivery. Velasquez goes home outside, 1 ball and a strike. Velasquez, a Phoenix, Arizona native, had the least earned runs on Cochise among pitchers with an average of 1 inning pitched per game this year. Through 58 2/3 for the Apaches at Cochise College. As a 1-1 count here, and Hayes for the Larks catches the outside corner, 1-2, and he's 1 strike away from ending the game again. 1-2 count, 2 away, runner on first, top of the 7th, 5-run lead for the Larks. Fly ball into center field. Jiminian to his right and back. Slows up in front of the warning track and gets out number 3. Larks win their 12th straight game. They're 24-4 on the season. 12-2 in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. 4 games up. If they win game 2, they will win the league. RoughRiders now 4-11 in the league play. 8.5 games back. They've lost 4 of their last 6, and they will have game 2 doubleheader. Game 2, the doubleheader coming up. Roughly 30 minutes. Graphic shows first pitch at 8 p.m., but expect around 8:25, 8:30. We'll wrap this one up as Jose Velasquez gets his 3rd save of the season and Beak gets his 3rd win of the season. And the Larks winning here 10-5 at the top of the 7th. First pitch will probably be clocking around at 8:30. We'll start the stream up probably 5 minutes before first pitch for game 2, the doubleheader. We'll be right back on Larks Network. Again, we'll end this stream and then start a new one later, so be sure to come back and watch game 2. This has been Carson Ackerman signing off. We'll see you in a few.